Hey friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. So I'm afraid I have very bad news for you today with regards to the travel cap. So remember, in March 15, the travel cap was in place in NAIA, limiting international arrivals or international passengers at 1,500 per day. And as a result of that, we've had so many cancelled flights. But hear this. The travel cap, which is supposed to finish on April 19, 8 a.m. is extended until April 30. So the travel cap, 1,500 in NAIA, will remain until April 30, which means that we will have more cancelled flights. So in the advisory of the Civil Aeronautics Board, it said, international inbound passenger capacity at the Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport shall remain to be limited at the maximum of 1,500 passengers per day. This is subject to the amendment determined by the DOTR. And airlines operating in NAIA that will exceed the allowed capacity will be meted with the appropriate penalty. Yeah, so airlines that will exceed the maximum capacity will get penalized po. For domestic commercial operations naman, for domestic flights, it is also subject to following. The first one is compliance with the requirements or restrictions on capacity and frequency of flights that may be imposed by all other LGUs outside NCR+. Temporary travel suspension to Region 6 from the NCR+, Cebu, and Davao is extended from April 13 to April 19, and this is approved by the NTF. Remember, we talked about how the local chief executives in Region 6 was requesting for it to be extended. Oh well, the National Task Force granted their request. Now, the Civil Aeronautics Board advisory reminded airlines that it is their responsibility to provide immediate notification of the status of flights to passengers whose flights be cancelled or postponed via all available means. Airlines are urged to offer not only refund but also rebooking of tickets that are unused as a result of the above-mentioned directive or memorandum without penalty. But I told you guys before, good luck with getting refunds from Philippine Airlines and even Cebu Pacific po. So furthermore guys, because of the extension of the travel cap, the Philippine Airlines announced that the addition of cancelled international flights as well as rerouted flights. So let's start with the cancelled flights. So remember, they already announced cancelled flights until April 18. Well, we thought that was it, but no. For April 16, they added more cancelled flights. So before, the cancelled flights in April 16 was only 4 flights. But they added not just 4, but look, these are the cancelled international flights for April 16. Guam, Honolulu, New York, Vancouver, Osaka, Fukuoka, Tokyo, Nagoya, Doha, Dammam, and Singapore. And look, not just the inbound flight is cancelled, but also the outbound. So imagine you went home to the Philippines just for a vacation and then you were planning to go back abroad to work or whether you live there. And flights, outbound flights, guys, are also cancelled. Let's go to April 17. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Port Moresby, New York, Seoul, Vancouver, Taipei, Tokyo, Nagoya, Dammam, and Singapore flights. These are also cancelled, guys. For April 18, Port Moresby, Hong Kong, Vancouver, Osaka, Tokyo Haneda, Tokyo Narita, Dubai, Singapore, and Jakarta, cancelled flights. April 19, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Hong Kong, Nagoya, Dubai, Riyadh, Dammam, Singapore, and Jakarta. For April 20, we have Taipei, Tokyo, Dubai, and Dammam. See, both inbound and outbound flights are cancelled. For April 21, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Nagoya, Doha, Dubai, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, and Bangkok flights are cancelled for April 21. For April 22, we have Los Angeles flights, Guam, Hong Kong, Dammam, and Singapore. Now guys, you may say, oh, my flight is April 22 and it's not included in this list. It's not cancelled. Those shall not be complacent because just because your flight is not here doesn't mean that it will not get cancelled. Earlier I said April 16. Last week they only cancelled 4 flights. But look, how many flights there are for April 16 cancelled. See? You have to check regularly po. So April 22, we have Los Angeles, Guam, Hong Kong, Dammam, and Singapore. For April 23, Honolulu, Guam, Osaka, Kansai, Tokyo, Narita, Dubai, Riyadh, Dammam, and Singapore. For April 23, their New York flight will depart on April 24. So regularly check your email or contact your travel agency. For April 24, oh my god, even the Sydney flight is cancelled. Then we have Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver, Hong Kong, Taipei, Tokyo, Nagoya, Port Moresby, Sydney, Riyadh, Dammam, and Singapore. For April 25, we have Vancouver, Hong Kong, Osaka, Tokyo, Haneda, Tokyo, Narita, Port Moresby, and Sydney to Melbourne, and then Manila. See, even a special flight is cancelled. This Sydney flight and Melbourne flight is only twice a month, but they still cancelled it. Then we have Dubai flight cancelled, Jakarta flight cancelled. For April 26, we have Los Angeles, San Francisco, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Haneda, Nagoya, Dubai, Riyadh, Singapore, and Jakarta. For April 27, 3 flights are cancelled. And for April 28, we have Asian flights, yes, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Fukuoka, Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, and Bangkok. For April 29, we have still Asian flights and 1 America, Guam, Hong Kong, Osaka, Tokyo, and Singapore. And April 30. So for those whose flights were cancelled, you have 3 options. You can rebook, or you can convert your money to a travel voucher, use it later, or you can refund. But refund, guys, just a warning that it takes months. Refunds takes months. They take your money in seconds, but if you want it back, it will take months. So that's what's going on, guys, with this travel cap. Expect that not just the Philippine Airlines will cancel flights. Foreign airlines will cancel flights as well. But you may ask, why is it that Philippine Airlines has the most number of cancelled flights? Because they have the most number of flights. So they are the airline that is mostly affected, heavily affected by the travel cap. But as to why there is a travel cap, they're saying because the increase of COVID cases, or maybe it's because of hospital being overwhelmed. I don't know. But based on that data we've looked at before in the COVID tracker, not many people coming from abroad are carriers of COVID-19. And if they wanted to reduce the people who come in the country with COVID-19, then why not they require COVID negative result prior to travel? That would significantly reduce the amount of people that would carry the virus in the country, right? Many countries have already done the same thing, requiring a negative result prior to entry. So I don't know why the Philippines hasn't done the same thing. And also, the protocol in Cebu is like the old protocol, so you get tested upon arrival at the airport. So why can't we do that in Manila and in Clark? When that was announced, honestly, I was thinking, ooh, IATF will react on this, but they didn't. It's like, all right, they're just letting Cebu do their own thing, swab test upon arrival, hotel quarantine for only 1 to 2 or 3 days. So if they can do it in Cebu, why can't we do it in Manila and Clark? What's the difference? It doesn't make sense. No? Sana all Cebu na lang talaga tayo. Like, we can only wish that the protocol in Cebu is the same as in Manila and in Clark. We could only say, sana all in Cebu. Anyway, guys, that's what's happening. I will see you again in my next video. Oh my goodness. To those whose flights were cancelled, I'm so sorry.